Hello, scribes. Good evening. Greetings, salutations, blessings. We're a little bit late. We've had some technical issues, so I'll apologise on behalf of my nuts and bolts laptop here. Um, I've I've slightly overlooked things. It turns out that I'm due to go and see my mum tomorrow, and I've left things a little bit late there with having an extended hangout tonight. I invited Docker and Steve. I have a text from Docker saying that he'd like to join and come on tonight, but I need to be up early tomorrow, and if we get Docker and Steve on tonight, bless them. Thank you for saying you come on and have a chat. That's very honourable and good to know we can do this. But I don't know where Andy is. I've given him a nudge. He might be out and about, so I thought all encompassed. We will talk common law. We will, bring Kev here. I'm going to give Matthew in Sheffield a ring. And
Hello.
yeah, we'll go for we'll go for a couple of hours till about midnight, and then I need to be signing off because I've overlooked the fact that I'm due to go away tomorrow, and we'll have a quiet one tonight, and then maybe one night we can have another in-depth hangout regarding the common law topic. And Kev, I'll hand over to you. You can say hello, and I'll have a look at the chat room and say hello.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry about the delay. It's all Dave's fault, as usual. What with him being a wrong un. No, nobody wants him, broadcasting his stuff. Anyway, I hope everybody's all right. Good to be here. A little bit, we've been thrown a little bit off key because there was meant to be three other people. We don't know. Well, as Dave just explained, so we'll rearrange that for another night. But I hope everybody's okay. Um, Everything's pretty crap here health wise, but onwards and upwards, as they say. So I see there's loads of people in the room, really busy in there.
I'm going now to the 27. Hello, it says 27. It's just loading now, Kev. 31.
Through.
Saturday neat.
Oh yeah, I'm up to 30. One of them might be me though.
So yeah, we can tackle common law and equity special. The heavyweight part will be postponed. We still have the crowns and the frowns aspect, and I was just speaking to Kevin then in the back office saying that I'd like to find a word, particular word. What was it we picked out there, Kev? What was that word?
Infiltrate.
Infiltrate. Was it infiltrate?
Surreptitiously.
There we go. That's the word. Surreptitiously. We're having this hangout tonight, and we're going to discuss common law in general, not the CLC and the video that Docker did, though we can touch upon that. But what we would like to articulate is the understanding and the jurisprudence and the effectiveness of common law, and how we see common law. For instance, what Kevin and I were chatting about is we see it, but I was trying to envisage to introduce this. We the landmass England, our family and landmass have been surreptitiously, secretly infiltrated with a foreign invasive force here. This foreign invasive force is not something we know, and it uses weapons of mass distraction. And yes, some of the rulings of common law, I would argue, are do not commit harm, injury, and loss. But within that common law argument and fraudulent misdealings, okay, but within that common law understanding that we have here in the landmass England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland, the common law is, in my eyes, I will not breach public trust being one of them. Now, you didn't hear that in do not commit harm, injury, loss, and fraudulent dealings. There's nowhere in that is there do not breach the public trust. That would be an aspect of common law. So we're open to all. Kevin is well knowledgeable on this, and as you've seen with his notices and documents, brother Steve and Docker are invited to come back when I'm not frequently visiting as I am doing, and I've been in trade all last week, so I'm that busy. I forgot. I don't mind telling you on tube. I forgot I was going away to see my mum tomorrow. So we'll entertain the 34 and whoever drops in, Kevin. We'll say thanks to Steve and Docker. It's not personal. There's no politics here. I just want a short hangout tonight, and if we can advertise this for another time, and if there is a requirement, you know, we're going on, then we'll take questions, and what we don't cover tonight, we won't cover it all tonight. We can lay it down as we see it, and as for allegations, claims, politics, and stuff, we'll keep that clean, Kev. We'll just stick to the law, jurisprudence. I'll ring Matthew in Sheffield in about an hour, and Andy may or may not drop in, as I've sent the link and he hasn't answered. So over to you, my brother Kevin, and then I'll look at the chat room and say hello.
Back to me again. Yeah, I was just having a quick glance through there. Yeah, no, we're not going into any politics. It's not about politics, but you know, it'd be nice to have a chat with the guys. You know, something a bit more organised, and discuss what's going on. That's, you know, or not, as the case may be. But yeah, no, we can steer clear of all that nonsense this evening, and yeah, we just find the subjects, mate. I'm sure we can rattle on for a couple of hours.
Missed call from I of Creator. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we've done that. Easy, no problem. Can you see the chat room, Kev?
Yes, I'm right. I think I'm right at the top. So I need to. Where are we going down to?
I don't know. You can just say hello to whoever.
I'm just saying hello. Let's have a look who's in there. Yeah, Lisa, Nonna, Kieran, John, Jerry. Who else is in? Jesus, Jesus Jones. Let me just go through. Luxmere, evening. Irish Gale Force, how you doing? Evening to every one of you I mentioned, by the way. Just trying to make up some time. Dave stops ruining everything again, being late.
You got me all day. What do you mean late? I forgot. Man's run ragged.
Oh, is that? Oh, he might have just put messages in Hangouts.
Yeah, possibly. Linking up Andy, in case.
Right. Oi. There he is. The Reverend Sobsmith.
That's his Sunday name. Don't be using that. Easy, Andy. Hello there. All right, bro.
Bonjour, one and all. How are we? Peace and love. Blessed be. Hope you're all well. How are you, mate?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. He lied.
He lied.
Yeah, you know him, mate of yours.
Yeah.
A bit sore with the breathing, to be honest. A bit like breathing rust at the moment.
Oh, but, Lord. Yeah. I did tell you to start showering in WD-40, didn't I, mate? Spray over your shoulders. I'm glad you're all well.
My hair looks lovely.
I'm not sure if I've missed much. I didn't get Dave didn't send the link across or what. I'm just sitting here patiently. I'm just come onto BoobTube and seeing that you're on. So I thought, hello.
That's why I resent it. I realised that you wasn't in. There is, if you look on Hangouts, there is a chat, but I don't know what happened. I couldn't get going. I had to restart the laptop. We got gremlins again, Andy, but we're here now. Sorry about that.
No problem, brother. No need for explanations, mate. Just because you left me out, I'm sure the fam will forgive you eventually. It's all right, mate. No problem.
What have you been up to, Andy?
It's been all play and no work, mate. Absolutely amazing.
It's more time off than the unemployed.
Yeah, it's a difficult balance, mate, when you're doing the work that I do and walking the path that I do. It's a fine balance, and it's all duality and equilibrium and all that. But it's getting it right, ain't it? And I was just reading the good book before I hooked up with you boys, and I'm in the middle of, again, for probably the 11th time in my life, I'm in the middle of the Proverbs, the book of Proverbs.
We like that one.
The legs of the lame are not equal, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. How can you not love this book, I tell you? Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Okay? And that's exactly what we do here. This is exactly what we come together as a council and counsel one another, have a bit of hearty fun, uplifted, vibrant activity from the heart, resonation, and boom, you know, throw some law truths in with the mix, and it makes for a happier man, doesn't it? And a happier man is a productive man.
I think it's an easier learn that way as well for some people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not full on all the time. In some cases you have to, but then, you know, I think it's easier to digest with a bit of banter and a bit of a giggle and a bit of seriousness and a bit of the book, no less.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of everything, Kay. A little bit.
We love it.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Who do you think you are, Ricky Martin? A little bit of Rita by my side, a little bit of KJV on my knee. A little...
You make it up as you go along if you want to, mate. It'll be nice.
Seems to be beating the women off of a shitty dick like Ricky Martin.
Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them, for their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Hello.
That was a bit apt after what I just said, wasn't it?
Well, you did tell me to speak from the good book, and all I can do is pull relevant chapter and verse at any given time that we speaketh, and hope that it fits in nicely.
That was well placed.
We have a question, boys. I'm listening. I'm loving it. I've got a question from Sister Lisa. I'll just ask the room if they've got any questions whilst you two are, getting warm and stuff and settling down. Lisa's question is: I have a question regarding power of attorney. Can I contest my sister who has it for our mother, whose property the sister wants to sell? Oh, wow. There's no illegal advice going off here, gentlemen. I'll indemnify us now. It's just a chat. And in general terms, anything can be contested, can't?
Yeah, I would say, of course it can. Of course it can be. You'd have to have fair grounds. Maybe you could apply, at worst, should we say, for joint power of attorney. Why has your sister got it? When there's lots of things we need to know, but I don't see why you couldn't contest it. But I'm not saying I know what the result will be, but I think as long as you've got good reason, by all means, why not? If that's any help, but I'd have to have a little bit more info, if you know what I mean, so I could think about it a bit more, like I do. But I don't see why not. If there's an issue of some description arisen, or you think the power of attorney is abusing powers, possibly
that's
something
the one,
like that. Yes, obviously, but you must provide the proof, and it'll probably be in civil, so it'll be 100%. If that is what the situation is, but yeah, there's lots of roads to think about. All right.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thanks, Kev. I was just looking at the screen and scrolling down. So we have the power of attorney is generally appointed. You appoint somebody. They're not magically chosen there. I'm sure this isn't having a go at Lisa, but for everyone else,
no.
You're assigned that role. You don't power of attorney. It's assumed sometimes. We have an administration technique going off at the minute where we are all assumed the misters and the public titles. So we have administration being done as far as our post is concerned, because we have left our post, the post of the correct, where we should be, and we're in an office at another post, and we don't recognise that we are. So who's doing our admin and back offices? The government on our behalf. So where we were creditor, debtor, we're just the debtor. The creditor part gets done somewhere else, and we just pick up the slack and pay. So we have our power of attorney. And when you get a mortgage, maybe the mortgagee in the paperwork there assigns themselves power of attorney. We covered this some years ago, so I'm digressing a little bit. But up to when we found out about mortgages and SPVs and the undersided of that, you get a mortgage, and that mortgage deed assignment contract, you know, as we've come to review it, has got in small print there an equitable charge and maybe a power of attorney over all your estate and everything. So if there is reason for foul play, you can look at it, can't you? Kevin's pointed out, and you've got to ask and ask the questions and do the digging. And if there's anything to be contested you don't agree with, you'd have to voice why you don't agree with that. And if it's just jealousy, then generally it won't get listened to, will it? But that's not, again, at least
No.
that's anybody.
No, it's just general observation.
Any
But yeah,
position.
Lisa, there's lots of different, you know, scenarios, isn't there? And that would lead into other routes, if you see what I mean. So I need a little bit more info. But yeah, the basis is yeah, of course you can challenge anything you like, no matter what it is, at any time. But you need to substantiate that challenge. That's what it's about. But yeah,
Jonesy, I would ask. Oh, sorry, I thought you'd finished, Kev. My apologies.
Yeah, you're not used to me talking for so long. I know, Dave.
No, it's Jonesy asking for a link with Steve and Santos. If Steve's here, he can put the link in the room. If he doesn't, then I'd go to Santos's or Steve's channel, Jonesy. Probably Santos is there, and have a look. And you should be able to find that. I would imagine you being an active, a blue spanner, a blue man group, should know that, Jonesy. So if you'd like to go and watch Steve and Santos, I'd go to probably Santos's or Steve's channel. Or now I've mentioned it out loud because that was a question, and I did ask for any questions. I'll answer that. Paul J, what relevance has the KJV in relation to jurisprudence? Well, that down to interpretation. I'm not going to answer for Andy. He says his book, but it's everybody's book there. It's his copy of the book. So
no, I'll just say the book. It's in my mouth. It's always the book. I always refer to the good book.
Well, you do say my book sometimes.
Yeah, well, I've got my book here. This is my copy of the book. This is mine.
Just continue before. It wasn't an attack on you. I'm just saying.
No, yeah. This one's exclusively to me in this society. This copy.
Sorry.
And the relevance of it is, and when you say the jurisprudence is of another language to this book. It's of another society. It's of another religion. So that which is spaketh in one can be deflected and repelled and dispelled with this one.
Is that to do with legalese, ecclesiastical, common law, would you say? Could you elaborate on that somewhat to help?
One's legal, one's lawful, you know. You have to, and it separates your legals from your laws. It clearly states what the feelings towards persons. Legals are for persons, the lawfuls are for man. This book is for man. Everything else legal is for persons, and the Ecclesiastes and canons and everything like that is from the other side. So it's all about the religion and the jurisprudence that is the civil law today can be helped with this book if you have clean hands and you're in equity. Steve's asking to come on, mate. Get Steve McRae on.
Well, I've just said that I want structure. Right, for the last time, no, it's not happening. I've got holiday tomorrow. I'm getting up early. We will reschedule it, or Steve can have you and Kev on his channel, and you can do it that way. But if I'm going to structure a common law, I did message Docker. Let's get the I nearly said the given then. Sorry if I do say that. I'll apologise now. I'll keep it private. But once again, from the top, for the last time, there's no politics, there's no anger, there's no malice. But I messaged in good time, and I wanted to have structure. I wanted to have direction, and I wanted us to all meet up before, like we do, and we have a chat and we sort it out. For you to just want to come on the hangout, you know, at 10:15 on the day before man's going to holiday, when I forgot was going on holiday, with no structure and direction, it's not going to happen. This is too important and too deep a subject just to go random all around the houses and letting me know an hour before we go live that you're available. So it's no anything other than I want on this channel, on Indie and our scribes, to have a structured, well covered, in-depth, articulate, concise, non-aggressive, no egos, nothing, just us boys going to have a chat. Now, if we do that now at 10:15, I envisage a 1:30, 2 a.m. finish. and I'm not prepared for that now on more than one level. So with all the love and the goodwill in the world, Brother Steve and Docker can stay in the chat room for tonight, and that's because of nothing other than I messed up and forgot I was going to see my mum tomorrow, and we haven't enough time, and they didn't confirm until very, very shortly before we cast. When I tried to cast, I had issues there, so I'd rather just skip it for tonight, if that's all right, and we'll reschedule it, or you and Kev are welcome to go over that way and discuss that. And you know, I'd like to do it, all of us, and do it properly and correctly. So
we'll wait till you get back, mate.
yeah, there's not enough time and structure now. Or if you don't think that's a reasonable excuse and you see anything else into that, I'm sorry, there is nothing else. That's strictly it. Not enough time in general for an important heavyweight hangout such as this. You know, I'd like to speak.
Yeah, and we've had issues tonight. It dragged on, didn't it? So, you know, there's been issues anyway. As I say, we sort of called off of that plan. As I say, because we like to meet up beforehand, have sort of half hour, maybe, who knows, before chatting amongst everybody that's going to go on. So we all know what's going on and where we're at. That's how we play, all play fair. So, you know, it's all good. It's all good. We'll just wait another week.
Boast not thyself to tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, and not thine own lips. A stone is heavy, and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of the enemy are deceitful. The full soul loatheth an honeycomb, but the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so doth sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Thine own friend and thine father's friend forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thine calamity, for better is a neighbour that is near than a brother afar. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on, and are punished. What about that, Mr. McRae? That was a beautiful little passage, weren't it, brother? Hey, everybody else too.
I was right into the chat room. I was explaining to Steve that common law is a subject. As for Docker's claims, they are Docker's, not mine, and we're not here to. We are going to talk about the common law court. If Steve's got any information on the common law court and Docker's claims, then I suggest he does that through his channel as well. We would like some backup on this. I didn't ask Steve and Docker on exclusively about Docker's claims because, as I said, last April we found out, and myself and Andy went and dealt with the after effects of the common law court, the you know, the aftershocks there, and we've got a deceased little boy on our hands. Okay, so I don't need to know about John and common law court. I know, and Andy knows, and we don't need convincing. What we do need to talk about, amongst Docker's claims and what he said there, yeah, that does, you see, substance over the form. Dead brother speaks volumes. That's your substance. Sorry, it's somber, and I'm not glad about this. I'm trying not to cry. Okay, what we do need to do is talk about common law. And what is common law? As I've said, harm, injury, loss, and fraudulent dealings. I've never heard anybody come out and say common law, one of the four correct terminology of it is one, will not breach the public trust. Okay, and we never say that. So common law does need blowing out of the water, and it needs doing correctly and structured. So Steve is one of the experts in all legal matters, and we are the youth that is coming up and you know, doing our due diligence research and looking at this infiltration of divided pagan Rome and how it is getting into our lives and how we are under attack, a military war. What I want you to be, scribes, and what I want this hangout on common law to perform is, after you watch it, you will be a better version of yourselves. I don't want the arguing. I don't want fighting. I don't give a rat's ass if John Smith is a government agent, all right? And if you can prove it, it makes no difference to us. Trust and equity is the path, and the CPR and the governance of the equitable remedy for man is hidden within that book. And again, it didn't come out and it wasn't shown to us. We've had to dig through the crap to find it. And within your common law, our common law of England and Wales, there is this trust and equity, which has been hidden away, which is, as I've said, the three jurisdictions of the court. When we go jurisdictions and so forth, they go for jurisdiction of what? Can we remember? The venue, it's theirs, their venue. They've won that jurisdiction. They go for the body, venue. The property is when we say body, property, titles, common law, trust and equity. It's about titles, liabilities, property, access, rights, and so forth. So when they go for the second venue, property after venue, is property, CQV, unrebutted. They've got your body. They've claimed your body. You haven't claimed it, so it's theirs, apparently, allegedly. The third jurisdiction would be personal. That's why they asked the name, the noun, the thing. We need to be constructive and concise and ballpark. I am interested in whether or not we can prove if there are any agents out there. Similarly, when we ask questions, are you a member of the bar? And it all goes quiet and we don't hear from you. You know, I'd like that question to be answered that was left open at some point. And you know, having these hangouts and chats are excellent because a lot comes out, but just having a last minute splashdown without, you know, structure and not much time I'm not happy about. We can really blow things open here and crack, you know, eggs and noggins, but we have to do it correctly. And common law is very important because we abide by that. In a private capacity, you would still be governed under the common law, and that's how it is. So we need to expand on that, boys. And I'm not happy about the arguments and so forth about get Stephen and whatever. He has a channel. We've got Docker over 1,000 scribes now through publicising his channel and his video and putting it on the .com and helping out. So that man can now go live as well. So we are helping and we do care and we do love. But tonight it's just us three in the room as it is, and those are the reasons for that. But this is a common law, you see. It's not about the politics, and we'll keep getting killed and we'll keep getting burned and we'll keep getting shoved over and nobody really cares. What we do need to get out is the message of the correctness of it, you know, and how we articulate ourselves going forward for ultimate protection and to be a better version of ourselves. Yeah, if that's what, you know, in any way helpful.
We hope it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we've established quite a lot. What we do need to establish is where man's getting confused, who they are, what they are, and how they defend such things as trust and equity like that. That's good. We can answer them questions, and I'll take questions all night long. And I'd like to reconvene this for some time at the end of July, or when I'm abroad. My mum's got decent internet. We could do it next week or during the week when we've all got time, and we could link back up. I'm open to that. This next Saturday.
No dramas for me.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, we could do it then.
As long as it, as I say, you know, my thing, it has to be sort of later on in the evening is preferable. It's not, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, I can get on earlier. It's just easier if it's like 9-ish.
Yeah, better, yeah.
I could do it. It's not a problem. I could find another corner to sit in for an hour. Yeah, Lisa, just getting back to your thing, if there's anything, you know, any little hurdles you come up against or anything that you need, you'd like some direction on, possibly some help with, just give us a shout. Any of us SPLs, still got to sort out my email, but yeah, if anything comes up, don't hesitate to give us a shout.
Let's just hold that a minute. Kev's not very well at the minute, fam, and scribe, so he's not to do anything. I've actually given him an order. I've ordered him, and I think his good lady, his queen there, is rather concerned. So what Kev does is say, I'll help you. Really, he's a broken man in some ways with energy, not fully, but he needs to focus on himself. So we're going to retract that, and you can email David at splspro.com, and I will take the strain for the time being. And I will help out. And if Kev's in, if and when he's up for it, I'll let you know and I'll read it to you, Kev. You can ask me.
Right. No worries.
Yeah, you do need to sort out stuff, but in good time. Andy is taking time out for his boss, and you know that awful news that he's recently had. So
yeah,
you know, when you boys are ready, and you know, once we've you know got time and everything, then by all means. But my emails have all been answered. I've emailed and got back in touch with everybody. I've just got a few little bits on the .com. I've uploaded a lot of documents and a lot of excellent stuff for you to review. The 1707 CQV, which tells you the part that says get your ass to Chancery for your remedy. Shh. We're really at the end of the road, boys, in this common law chat tonight. You know, and how it is and how we see it is important, I think, because it's basic and we're still falling up, you know, tripping over stuff.
I would just like to throw in a quick chapter 23 of Proverbs, if I may.
Yeah, go.
When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Labour not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings, they fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words. Speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words. Remove not the old landmark, and enter not into the fields of the fatherless. For their Redeemer is mighty, he shall plead their cause with thee. Apply thine heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and thou shalt deliver his soul from hell. My son, if thine heart be wise, mine heart shall rejoice, even mine. Ye mine reins shall rejoice when thy lips speak right things. Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. For surely there is an end, and thine expectations shall not be cut off. Hear thou, my son, and be wise, and guide thine heart in the way. Be not among wine-bibbers, among righteous eaters of the flesh. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Hearken unto my father that gat thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old. But buy the truth, and sell it not, also wisdom and instruction and understanding. The father of the righteous shall greatly rejoice, and that begetteth a wise child shall have joy of him. The father and thy mother shall be glad, and she shall bear thee shall rejoice. My son, give me thine heart, and let thine eyes observe mine ways. How is that for you?
Very nice.
That's a nice.
Let your eyes absorb my ways is the beta and alpha when we've talked about assets, sons and daughters, when they're up to the age of 7. Give me a child to the age of 7 and I will show you the man. Remember, I did a video said who quoted that. So when you're little and you're up to 7, you learn because you're in the beta waves. And when you're in the beta waves, a bit like watching TV, when they're showing you men having sex with pigs, and yeah. And alpha is what the alphas are awake, the alpha waves, and the beta waves, programming control, aren't you? And yes, that's the child learning by environment. You are a product of your environment. There's many, many messages, you see. That was just the last little 2 lines. You said a lot. Something about a knife to a throat. Okay, the rule of law, knife to a throat. I heard that and I thought, yeah, we've all got a knife to our throat, to be fair, about eating and money, you know, assets and theft, rights, property, common law breaches. Well, I've said it to you in many ways, but you're innocent until proven guilty. I brought out Paul, prudent, innocent till proven guilty. The knife to your throat is the force of Roman law. Now, the force of law is applicable because it's legal upon your person. if you're not a person, you don't ever have a knife to your throat, because any man that puts a knife to another man's throat has done what? Has broken the law. It's
Yes.
coded. Yeah, you see how we've got this. So this
Well,
Bible
the
is
actual
go on.
verse, yes, this Bible is saying, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite. Now, what that's saying is, if you're a person of the world, if you are a pursuant of all the riches, if that is your appetite, then you'd be best to put a knife to thy throat, you know.
And oh, this is ringing
Because
bells.
what is greed? Don't chase the greed. Don't be greedy. That's what that's saying, mate.
This is good info. Me and Andy had a private chat the other day about things. That's all I can say. And he's picked up on something that we talked about, and I'm very grateful for this, Andy. That's fucking sorry, yeah, that's fucking brilliant. Just what we can correlate to. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten where we are. The phones, the digital money, the currency, the holidays, the .coms, you know, the Facebooks, and lost our path a little bit here. You know, if you owe someone some money and they don't pay you, you know, then what do? You have to go and collect it and sort it out. But in this system, it appears that if we allegedly claim to have owed money and it doesn't get paid and the account's not settled, what they do is just ship it out to Fat Tony, Big Barry, and he comes knocking, and it's like, hang on, back in the day when I was a youth, back in the early DJing years, if somebody owed somebody some money, somebody'd buy that debt quite cheap, okay? And they'd buy it quite cheap, and they'd say, I'll sort you that out. How much you owe you? 1,500 quid, 3 grand. These are the numbers we're talking back in the early 90s, and a man would buy it for 200 quid. It's saying, all right, and I didn't realise at the time, you know, and the legal system, I thought this was quite obtruse and uncouth. I says, you lot are like the Italians and the mafia. You handle your stuff in-house. You don't go, and all right, then. I said, no, there's no death here, boys, but, you know, business was done. And I've grown up and come to be a man in this realm, and it turns out if you owe a debt and you're the government, you ship it out to Fat Tony and Big Barry. They buy it quite cheap, and they do what they were doing back on the estates in the early 90s. I was like, you know, this is a bit grim. I don't know if I really want to be a DJ when there's, you know, it's not a great industry, especially when you're on the streets doing it. And pirate radios and tower blocks, you get the idea, fam. It wasn't no ministry of, and yeah, I got to see, and I learned this legal system. All right, so basically, debt collection is Gangsterville.
Well, that's them. You see, that's them chasing their appetite. That's greedy men.
And you get a debt, and it's been, hello, we've bought the debt. You owe this to such and such. It hasn't been paid. We've come to take your shizzle. Who are you? Well, Big Barry and his mate, dressed in black, tattooed up with, you know, cameras and everything, threatening you at your doorstep. You've done nothing wrong. And this is where the Bible comes in again, because you are not criminals, and you can be a better version of yourself.
How's about this, mate? Right in line for you. Chapter 24, Proverbs. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talketh mischief. Through wisdom is a house builded, and by understanding is it established. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increaseth in strength. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counsellors there is safety. Wisdom is too high for a fool, he openeth not his mouth in the gate. He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. Hello, how is that for you?
Yeah. Enough said, indeed. It's common law tonight, and common law, we get confused where we see. I used to put a sign up on my door.
Common law is do right by each other.
My rights end where yours begin. Yeah, I used to put a sign up at the front door when I first opened Sovereign Cyber Solicitors, as it was on Facebook, and it said common law jurisdiction applies exclusively. And over the course of these years, I've realised the error of that notice, that if you put up a common law jurisdiction applies exclusively notice, what does that mean? It means that the public rule of law applies exclusively at this property, dwelling, habitat, place of business, etc. Okay, then if the public rule of law applies at this place of business, habitat and dwelling, then that means it's not private. If it's not private, it's not protected. Bum shanker. There's your common law. Some of it will protect you, public statutory common law. Let's go for health and safety at work, asbestos in houses. You know, we have regulations and they're public and they keep us safe. We abide by them. They don't do any harm. They cost no money. If you don't abide by them, you might lose something, part of your body, your life, you know. So that's where we have this common law protection. So if you've got a private asset and you want to protect it with public law, your brain should be telling you straight away, well, that's private property and this is public law. Why would public law protect a private item? It's not going to, is it? At all, ever, in any way.
My son, eat
Yes,
thou
Dad.
honey,
Yes, Dad.
because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to thy taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul. When thou hast found it, there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut off. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous, spoil not his resting place. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth, lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked, for there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. My son, fear the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change, for their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment.
Mm.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Hello. I just found myself talking to myself and I realised the mic was still on. Oh dear. Sorry. Yeah.
Carry on. That was good.
You like?
Checking the chat. Yeah, go on, Andy. Give us some more proverbs.
These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of the persons in a judgment. He that saith unto the wicked, thou art righteous, him shall the people curse, nations shall abhor him. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon them. Every man shall kiss his lips that giveth a right answer. Prepare thy work without, and make for it thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. Be not a witness against thy neighbour without cause, and deceive not with thy lips. Say not, I will do to him as he hath done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. And I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall the poverty come as one that travelleth, and they want an armed man. These are also the Proverbs of Solomon, King of Judah, copied out. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honour of kings is to search out a matter. How lovely is that? Seek and ye shall find.
Yeah. Beautiful.
As king, see king.
The heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. It's ace, isn't it? The heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Oh,
It's a king's job to. It turns out that it's kings that go out and quest and find solutions to issues, and that, you know, the ones that go up and yes, status, style, capacity, standing, jobs. We're self-initiates, you know. No one asked us to get on this. No one asked us to do this, have they? We've done it for our, like the scribes on here on a Saturday night, not watching the streaming services and whatnot, and partaking and giving a shit. And you know, and I'm sorry if you're a little bit disappointed about tonight, but late planning. has left it to the last
Because
minute. So, yeah.
the system is based on God and the Bible, JJ. Well, mate, I can see your answer in there, mate. But we'll just carry on as we are. The deceived shall be deceived, and only open eyes shall see. And if we just leave it at that, and we'll keep going along, and those that are left behind in the wake are meant to be there. God bless all of us.
Yes, they have maxims like JJ and Andy and everyone. They have the maxims, don't they? This is where we connect the dots. When you read stuff about deception and biblical terminology, and then you read the maxims of law, which is their system, not our law, but the law society of the Roman Temple BAR of London that have infiltrated the original who were the knights? What were they? Knights, Templar knights. Oh, I nearly
Knights
said Templar.
Templar, mate.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were good ones. They protect the ones going on the pilgrimages and so forth. And over time, they've got taken over. Like we've brought to you, Andy mentioned bloody 200 AD, and my mate Constantine, the Roman emperor, and everything like that that's come out. So when you see Roman maxims, back to the point now of let he who will be deceived be deceived. If there is a man in a court and the man doesn't know he has any rights, then he has no rights. And when I say rights, now think about the right angles in a triangle, the right angles on a square, the right angles adding up to everything being connected, JJ, the mathematics, phi, vortex, grammatron, gematria, circle of life, Fibonacci, and all of this. And then think of you write with a pen. You have rights in life. Your rights. You have right angles.
You have to have ascension to be able to use this stuff, mate. It's you have to be into it, don't you?
Yeah, but it is. If you go on a discovery, you will find that mathematics, language, science, nature, souls. Like there's a difference between a soul and a spirit.
That's all the laws.
You said the other day, if you don't know the difference between the Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit, that's key. We don't know. It's not a piss take, but it is a piss take that we don't know. But we will never take the mick out of you and the scribes and everybody else like you won't me. But we should know this basic information, the basic information before leaving Earth. Let's just abbreviate that. Bible spells bibliotech.
It's because absolutely everything has been obfuscated. Everything is a lie, from the animals of the nature to the man and the woman that's on the telly doing the singing and dancing, to everything that we've been taught at school. Everything is 180 to what everything's back to front, upside down, black and white. It's all 180. Everything.
It is.
And in that book, it says Satan rules the earth. Now we can see why the earth is dying and upside down, and we've got 2 million dead bloody birds falling out the sky with 5G turning on, ice caps melting, nuclear spillages everywhere, shit in the air, chemicals in the Food and Drug Administration, men losing their sperm, women. Do you want me to carry on? There's a big old list here. It ends up with us all, and this is why that book is important, because when you realize you are in a beautiful paradise. Don't get me wrong, this is heaven in some ways, but it's being run by the devil. And up in the heavens is the great most high looking down on how we choose to live our lives and make our choices. Yeah. And when we go and do this and we put the welfare and the benefit of others before ourselves, and we do these chats, then we are proving to like a notice and a public notice that we're going on. But for those that don't see it, Andy has done a magical thing. I can't believe how key that all this is to pulling in the secular law and the real law, because if we didn't have you, we'd still be looking, brother.
Well, blessed all of us, mate, and blessed be that it's only my perception, it's only true to me. And when I've took this onto the legal realm and acted lawfully in equity with my hand on this book, standing on that which I say and do, I've never lost. That's all I can profess or proclaim about this. This lawful book will dispel and repel any legal civil claim or infraction made against you. It's that easy.
Carry on. Yeah, it's that easy if you understand it and interpret it in the correct way, because you do, and so others are now getting the book going, I've got the KJV, now I can win. And then, but it's not just having the book, it's digest. They say, here we go. I'm sorry, but they say this is what it is widely said, not they. It is widely advised that when man reads the Bible, after reading the Bible, read it again. What? That's right, yeah, because then
yes, I've had to read it twice. Now the God of hope fill you with joy and peace in believing, that ye may be abound in hope through the power of the Holy Ghost. And I myself also am persuaded of you, my brethren, that ye also are full of goodness, filled with knowledge, able to admonish one another. Nevertheless, brethren, I have written them more boldly unto you in some sort, as putting you in mind, because of the grace that is given to me of God, as I should be the minister of Jesus Christ to the Gentiles, ministering the gospel of God, that the offering up of the Gentiles might be acceptable, being sanctified by the Holy Ghost. So I'll ask you again, the difference between the Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit. Who does that represent? Who does it defy? Who do we defy? Who are we? Who does it define? The separations here, you see, and there's the split title all here. The way that it's written, the way that the uppercase writing is here. You have to have it in your hand to see it. You have to believe it and see it. The split title of the birth certificate it's here in this book. Everything that's on the realm is of this book. That's why it's the authorized version. It's got to be the 1611 authorized version. It's given in plain sight to us, disguised as some crazy ass religion. And that's why man hasn't given themselves or it a second chance.
7 allegedly, possible interpretations going down it. So, yeah, indeed, it's like they've left. With you saying that, with your last few sentences, it's almost like they've left their future bloodlines a handbook of how to unbond from the system. If you can, you'd need etymology, you'd need good language and skills taught. Not to debase like we've got. You'd need the full, Latin, English, Francais, civics that would back up that. And once you'd got that and you was educated, Mark Twain never let schooling get in the way of your education, Nikola Tesla. And then you'd be educated, and then that's when they go out into the beast, go to the east, get educated. There's a little code here when the brothers come back and they shake hand and they say, how were your travels, because they're in the east traveling. So once you're educated and you come back to the west, you manipulate the west with the information from the east. Incredible.
Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offences contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. For they that are which serve our Lord Jesus Christ but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. For your obedience is come abroad unto all men, and I am glad therefore on your behalf. But ye I would have you wise unto the which is good, and simple concerning evil. And the God of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you. Amen. I love it.
Yeah, come. I don't like this bit. In Christ we come. I come.
Don't worry about the unexpected.
She doesn't worry. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's put adverts on the cast, cheeky monkey. When they say at the end, in Christ I come, and I come in Christ. Well, we know what the word come is. I'm sorry to bring this one up as well, but as it's there, I am with Christ. The word come, phonically, we know that it's a street word for a sexual jizz, ejaculation, street slang that the word come has with it. So when one comes with Christ, that in my mind is a wrong sentence. Got these. So I'm sorry, we're hinging on Christ here. So when you reference the Christ consciousness, the Christ like, in this way, then be careful or be aware of how you put yourself with and what words you use, because as we're weird about words and the bonds of Christ, I give you my Christian calling. I have a Christian. What is your name? I have a Christian calling. I have a given name. Which one? I am called David. My Christian name is David. King David. It's in the Bible, so I'm all right with that one. It's, for me, anybody can say the same. It doesn't matter. Given name, well, a given calling. You're given a calling. So when your mum wants you, when your dad wants you, they call you, as we've mentioned before. Now, what is your name? Is a leading trick question. I come in the name of Christ. If you want to know my name, then, as Andy's just put, I come in the name of Christ, yes, and I am called David. What is your full name? Aha. Well, I'm called David, and I am of the family estate Jeremita, which is private. I have a public instrument, a name that I'm sometimes known to use, but that's not when you're not with Christ when you use that name, okay? You're going away from Christ and you're going into legal by saying I'm the Mr. date of birth and the surname. So you've contracted with the devil in the details in my opinion. Christ is a powerful, sorry, Andy. Christ is a powerful, sounded like you would get.
Keeping you up, mate.
Sorry, mate. I was just nodding off there, mate. So I was just reading through my chapters. I'm just going to tie this in with exactly what you've saying, David. Just
Christ,
a little bit.
It's not just a fictional character. That's what the bottom line is. It's very important when you see this character, and it's like Dan and his data self again. When Andy's just said split title, that is key. The titles in common law and trust and equity are the key to your remedy and success. And whichever title you claim and whichever title you take, trustee, beneficiary, grantor. So there's more than one. When we say title, there's a title of the man, title of the person, the title of the position within the trust. So you've got a few titles, but Christ is the title when we talk about man, not so much the trust or the other one that I said. Okay, Andy, I hope you've got something to link.
Mate, Corinthians 3:9. For we are labourers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's building. According to the grace of God which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. How is that? So the foundation's already laid for us. It's already here. It's up on a rock. Ye seek and ye shall find. You buildeth your house there upon the rock, away from the water. You won't get wet feet. When the wind comes, you won't blow it down, because it is fixed sure, not like buildeth upon the earth, where the earth moves. The rock is solid. So when the foundation is solid and the house that's built thereupon is solid thereafter, within that house resides many mansions, which is the capacities you spaketh of. And once you will start getting this together, you will start getting into it, and you will see the depth that's required to repel and dispel the linguistics that's put against us of the Canaan. We shall not transgress into their iniquities, and this book will teach you how to dispel them. That's the relevance of this book.
Well, I'm learning that I can dispel them legally, but spiritually I'm a little bit weak. Lawfully, legally, we're kicking ass here with the jurisprudence and the instruments and everything. But what you are showing me is that even though I can say these words and get these numbers and they're all foreign to me. It's not my thing, you know. It's their system, it's their numbers, their acts, their institution, their venue, their occupation of London. So forgive me while I just take a moment to say, you know, if we can link this now to actual biblical. That's when it hits home. You're like, oh, I knew I was right, and I knew it added up. But when you hear a man speak of it like this, you're like, holy shit, this is as serious as it gets. Never mind the Bitcoin franchise or such and such, and other than death, life and death, you know, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and the kingdom of man. We are looking after these three kingdoms here, and yes, I look after them quite weirdly with the numbers and the print and the instruments, and as you got to know me. But then when you get to you and you're like, oh, now it's serious. Now it's serious. You can't get out of it. And the judge, when you say some of these things, who's a black robe wearing, you know, banking and playing in a non-de jure, it's a de facto place. They rely on facts, and you hand out some facts like this, Marsh.
Yeah, look. Corinthians 4:13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. See, what they're saying there is the fire. You know, it's like to throw you into the fire to harden you. It's almost like the clay kiln, isn't it? We've been molded. The Creator has molded us. He's formed us. We are in our formed state, but we're not hardened to the elements. We haven't been glazed. We haven't been fired. So as we are building our house, which resides within ourselves, as God does, we are put into the fire in life from time to time to toughen us up, and that's where we would say, you know, a lot of our lessons are learned. But that's what we are there, and we come out all shiny and smooth and glazed over and tough, ready for the elements, ready for the weather outside. And it's mainly so that you're watertight now, you know, so our vessel can carry all that is poured in. Now, all this knowledge and wisdom that is poured in from heaven above must be carried without dropping a single droplet. And the only way to do it is to pour it to the brethren around us, you know. And that's what it means to me. I'm not sure if that's what it actually means or what it means to anybody else. But that's my understanding of what that means right there. If anybody can correct me or tell me anything else, please do. But that's my perception of what's being said.
No, it seems all right. I don't think to be fair, there's quite a broad perception you can have of many scenarios pointed out in the Bible, but there are mainly one true perception you need to at least see. So, yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Andy. I'm going to go to some of these comments here because I'm aware there's quite a few, and I want to keep it consciously.
Yeah, it's
See
doing
the
well.
room. Yeah, have a look and just keep an eye on if there's anybody struggling in amongst animals in the stars, where Jews think we are the animals from Jesus. Yes, so I'm not defending the Talmud. There's a Torah, there's a Torah and a Talmud, and the Talmud does say about the Jews and the Gentiles, and the core structure within their faith saying about the animals of the West that drink alcohol in excess, have sex wildly, sniff drugs, take drugs, fight at recreational sporting events, follow blindlessly deities and goddesses and new priestesses such as the House of Gaga, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all of these, even you know, too big for my boots getting put up there now. I'm worrying about the new lot, you know, the stabbing in London, what's going on. So we see, you know, that it's there. You know, you open your eyes and you see how these are, you know, very relevant out there. But yeah, thank you for that. You know, the Jews look at us and they see that what's written about the Westerners and how they act. I'm not defending, but we forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Okay, but their religion over that side is that the Semitic. And when you get into that, we have researched all just about. You know, we're not experts. I say we, I, David, me, the three here, in me. And I've looked and I was disturbed by it. I was like, what? This is worse than the Georgia Guidestones. You can't have these, start doing this and having all the money and thinking this is not good, you know. And then you look at it and you actually look at Western and European societies, we do ourselves no favors in some ways. Ignorance is no defense. That's another one of the maxims, and our ignorance to the realm we live in and its effects is no defense. But the animal side of it, I now look at USA, America, Babylon, Europe, and I see what's happening. And I think we have really lost our way. I'm not defending or making excuses for us killing each other, stabbing each other, you know, fucking each other's wives. Sorry to be crude here, but this is what's going on. Lying to your mate's face and then going and getting in bed with his missus, but being you. That's no mate. You know, with mates like that, who needs enemies? I would ask. You know, DJs lying to club owners and stuff that I've seen. These are my friends stabbing me in the back. I had more knife holes in me than a pin cushion at one point in my heyday when I was DJing. So we act to ourselves, you know, like Andy's pointed out in this book. We have no allegiance, no hood, brother and sisterhood, no community values. And so that comment there of more than exhausted. Boys, have you seen out you want to chat about in the room?
I haven't. I'm reading. There's a lot of good comments in there, but
I love it, Andy. Andy's good voice. Loving your voice. Loving to hear you back.
Thank you,
yeah.
everybody.
Quick scanning. Christ is with me from Jesus Jones, but speak to the Jesus Christ worshippers, and it's not well said again, JJ. Yeah, they're on. When you go to the church and you chat to them, nothing constructive gets done or talked about. They're lovely, they're salt of the earth, if you like, but they're not very practical, they're not very scientific, they're not very articulate. They're great for the community, but they need, not all of them, but 80% need management or some kind of interface. And once you set them off, they're the best thing since, fresh air. But I'm going to try and look for others while we're scanning, and Andy's finding some others. Lisa,
Oh, I'm ready and waiting, mate. I'm cocked and loaded.
wait, we're busy though. We're busy. We are going to do a tour. When I was little, I told my mum that I understood who the Father is, the Son is, but asked who is the Holy Spirit. She answered, "Well, that's the great mystery, isn't it?" Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
More though, mystery. Mystery gangs sorted it out. One last one, and over to Andy. Simon of the Ryder clan. Evening. Universal law, our law, trust declaration, trust law, trust constitution, ecclesiastical jurisdiction. David does a copyright, trademark work, i.e., self-executing notice contract. I will say yes. You have a common law area to copyright, and I defended a claim on Ecomotus with the guy down in Devon with the hydrogen tech from a bigger company that tried to tell him to shut up, and that he was infringing on trademark copyright names using Google AdWords. And I went into the I didn't know too much of it at the time, but the common law availability to copyright, and when you can trademark as well, when you register, here we go, when you register, common law and let me see, persons, admiralty, business, commerce, public, all the same. But it's not common law as such, but they're common because they're public in that realm and they're accessible, they're registered. So you don't do your trademark R because you haven't registered it. But you can trademark it, look at how to trademark, and look at how to common law copyright your intellectual property and your physical property. I'll look at the comments going through and I'll make sure you're all answered. And we'll pass over to brother Andy and his wise words. Thank you all.
Thank you, mate. Deuteronomy chapter 29 from verse 24. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then man shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods, and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us, and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Oh, gives me goose pimples, mate. I tell you when I read stuff like this. There is only one law, mate. We are the law. He who holds the law is the law. If you are stood there in equity as king of the court with clean hands, with the righteous heart, in honour, with the right intent and goodwill, and you can have all them things there documented, proved, clarified, there's not a single individual that better put a man down. There's no one powerful enough. There's no one above you of this realm. We are all equal. There's no one above us. You just have to stand there and bloody well say so.
Yes, I'm going to comment to one.
My passion's coming out there, kids. Sorry about that.
Get the tissues.
When a neighbour claims something and says something to you in public, and you say, "All right, you've just made a claim there in public, and now I've got some witnesses. Did you hear that, pal?" "Yes, I did, Dave." Your neighbour says, "Yeah, I heard that," and your other neighbour's like accusing you of doing something you haven't in public. Then you know the law, you know who you are, and you say, "Well, you've made a public claim there. You've damaged me by making that claim. I'll conditionally accept it. Now, where's your proof, pal?" Oh, well, it must be you because I hate you and you do my head in, so I'm blaming you. I've got no evidence. I'm just making the claim. Well, unfortunately, I've got a witness here and you've got no evidence and you've made that claim, so you're going down. And with reference to what you've just said, Andy, Irish Gale Force 81 has asked, is being a free man or free woman going to matter when or if martial law comes about? And that's the end of the question. So
Martial law is already here, mate. That's why the police are wearing guns and they are shooting our brothers and sisters. Martial law is already here. Don't be fooled by anything else that they try and tell us.
but yeah, you're right. But when what they mean is when the military come in for the, what I can see what they're meaning. So let me just say this: that if we followed the Ten Commandments and we was doing what we were supposed to be doing, there wouldn't need to be any policing or any of this institution, with Sir Bobby Peel there and the Peelian Code of Policing and the way that we have these statutory codes to govern the animals in the West, according to the Jews. And, JJ's not making that claim. That's just what's written. So if we followed the shit we should be following, and we was decent and loving, and we put others before ourselves, and we recognise where others' rights ended, ours, begin, and not to that point and not over it, then we wouldn't need all of this crap here. So if you go now and get remedy, and you look to go private, what do you think will happen? We got asked this the other day on a hangout as well, and I answered it in a similar way, but this one's more articulate. If you're private, you're not going to be in with the public because that's futile. So you're going to get located somewhere else, and you're going to be private, away from everybody. And when the shit hits the fan, or the martial law, or whichever scenario that you're thinking of from the Hollywood TV programming and the Fear Factory, it used to be the Fun House and Madness, Our House, and so forth, and Fun, Our House. This house is, middle of the street, so forth. Now it's Fear, Doom, your Euro officer. So when the shit hits the fan, if you haven't gone private and you're still a free man or a free woman, you're going to go with the general public, I'm afraid, because free men and free women, nobody's free. You're only free to consume. If you're in the private though, and you privately moved, and when the shit hits the fan for the general public, by you being in private separates you from the public. There is your divide. There is your protection. I'm not saying it's full, but what I'm saying is you won't be cattle, holded. You won't be cattle grabbed like the rest and chucked in with them. You'll be treated slightly different, I would hope, with your reservation of rights and correct status, standing, and capacity. So I do hope that you get the point that we are not free men ever. We are not free women. We are men and women, and we were born free. That freedom lasted for all of so many weeks until registration. And when you register, you give to the crown. And when you give to the crown, your body is no longer yours after the CQV and the death certificate at the point of 7. Now you're in that bondage. So that's where the biblical side comes in, and the legals when you become 18. But now you've got your morality, you've got your spirit, you've got your soul, and you've got your obligations and your duties. Now, what are your obligations and duties? Are they to the state? Are they to God? Are they to me, Andy Kev, to splspro.com, or to you and your family? So you've got some working out to do here. But for protection, just remember that the public is in danger, and free, well, I like complimentary. We're giving you complimentary information by you passively learning by partaking as self-initiates. Just remember, we don't classify ourselves as free anything. We've got reservation of rights, self-governing private capacity. Leave sovereign out of it. That's just a nice play on words. I do like that word. And John has put something in about, you said wraith, or a word that had something in it. And he mentioned, sorry, John, I've lost the comment, but that was a good comment as well. And Shadow Dynamics says flawless, Andy. Easy, Shadow.
There you go, boys.
I yield.
Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath not he made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him under a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him in about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over the young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them bearing the Lord her wings. So the Lord alone did he lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, the rams of the breed Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat, and thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat, and kicked thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God, which he made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him into jealousy with strange gods, and abominations provoked they him into anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them, because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very frowns generation. Children in whom is no faith. They have moved to me with jealousy, with that which is not God. They have provoked me into anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischiefs upon them, I will spend mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat, and the bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and the terror within shall destroy both young man and the virgin, and the suckling also with the man of grey hairs. I said I would scatter them into corners, I would make them remembrance of them to cease from among men. Where it is not that I fear the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and the Lord hath not done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that hear the wise, they understood this, they would consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,002, put them 1,000 to flight, except their rock, and sold them, and the Lord had shut them up? For their rock is not our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. And there you go. My eyes are hurting. Peace be, everybody. God bless.
Nice one. You said suck honey from a rock in that one. And
Yes.
Simon's commenting underneath my comment. Sting said it well when he said, we are spirits in a material world. And
Yeah.
Madonna's then coming to mind, Pie Man. Sting and Madonna, but go on. Kev, you remember that, do you?
I do indeed. So there you go. Can't remember.
Simon, Andy. The word adult is not in the Bible. Adulterous means breaker of covenant, worship of foreign goods. Adult is not in the Bible. Adulterous.
Yes, that they don't use adults, do they, or adulterous? Like they'll use the word harlot, means breaker of the covenant, adulterous. Yes.
Hogarth's food riots aren't upon us yet. Well, yeah, not yet. No, we shouldn't even have that possibility when you import a government in place. They should be there to, not sit there and do little, but no reporting of the grand solar minimum by mainstream media. More earthquakes to shake those still slumbering. True that, man, says JJ. Any questions, fam? We got Andy and Kev still here. I'm going to try Matthew in Sheffield, see if he wants to comment on common law. He said he'd have a chat and say his piece on what he thinks is quite forthright. So, yeah. Boys, have you got anything you would like to?
I'm going to let my brother Kevin air his voice. He's said this evening, I do feel I've taken a large portion of the airtime. I've even overtaken you, maybe, Dave. So, in my good grace, I'm going to take a bow and thank everybody for being with me.
You have a Guinness World Record.
I love you.
Oh dear.
Go on.
We all love you, Dave. It's brilliant. And you said, I just want to finish this, Andy, just as about to start with something from Proverbs. And Dave said, I just want to finish this. And I was laughing to myself, thinking, yeah, that's 20 minutes at least.
I know, I've just read another 4 chapters while I'm waiting for them. I've had to come back on myself.
Sorry.
It's brilliant. Don't apologise for it. It's a great habit, if you like, or
I've seen him in his habit. He looks very nice.
Leg shaved, I hope.
Matching toenails. He goes the whole log.
Matching collar and cuffs as well.
I don't know what he gets up to with that side.
They're manscaping. Anyway, right. No, I was just looking through the room, see what's going on. There's a load of comments in there tonight.
Oh, the chat room is wild. I've just pressed the button on my phone now, and goodness me, they're having their own party in there, and God love them and bless them for it, because
thanks.
If they're not listening to us and they're having a great time amongst themselves, then hey, we've facilitated a lovely time for everybody. So praise be and God bless us,
I saw Albert in there earlier, right, Albert?
Yes, brother Al. You okay, Fred? Or Bert, as I normally call him. My mate Bert.
Well, Al has a right angle in when I said earlier about thank you, Al. It's amazing how the brain works. Al is it means, what does it mean now? It doesn't mean God. It's to give or something. You have to find out AL, what that stands for in Latin, Hebrew, biblical, text. It escapes me, but the point is, when you said Al, Albert, A-L, Bert, correct. And Bert, and then A-L, L is the L, yes, God, symbology, E-L, and L, the letter L, has another, where I said right angles, triangles, 90 degrees, square and circle, everything connected. The L for God has what in it? A right angle. What? Oh, yes. Just another little tedious link I wanted to get in there. I'm doing some research. I'm going to bring you some Marty style leads, but I'm not copying Marty leads, or I'd be foolish to tell you who I'm going to present. No, I've done some work in the background that I'm going to do on holiday about. Do you remember Andy and Kev? I don't know. Kev, we weren't there actually. Andy, it's only you, Kev. Sorry. It was.
I'll try and remember
it. No, it's relevant because it was Carl Gettings that showed me this outside a seminar that we did.
Stop messing about, will you?
Was the first one that, wow, so many things here. And as the presentation was going off, I says about secrets and keys in the brain and phonics, and the ice cream van went, and I said ice, and it made noise, and it was a bit weird. And Carl stood up and goes, by the way, I happen to have formerly been in a secret society that you may have heard of, and I'm here today to have a chat with you. And we all went, oh, okay. Nice. And outside, he showed me, Andy, and a few others the coding system for the alphabet, where they draw like a noughts and crosses board, and they put A, B in the first box, and they put C, D, and they always put 2. So you got like 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 squares, and then you put 2 in each. So that's 18 letters in then 9 squares, going A, B, and then C, D, E, F. And you draw an X on the other side after them 18 are put in them 9 squares. And he showed us that you can put a key in it as well, which is very good. But the language they use to put the A and the B, if you think of a noughts and crosses board now, you know, you've all played this game. So the first square on the top row, yeah, the top left is AB. So to draw that AB, you'd go down, a draw down, and you draw the stick. When you come to the down, and you've done your shape, your eye, your effect, a line down, you go left of the line. And that would tell them that you're using that first square because that's the shape of that first square. If you want the A, I forget. I'm not going to tell it you all. Actually, go and research Masonic codes and how you, and any kind of ciphers and codes. And L has got the right angle. These boards and stuff like these. It was just like loads of right angles and upside down squares and stuff. Do you remember Carl Andy at that seminar? Oh, amazing! What a wealth of knowledge. Yeah, he caused us no harm. He didn't, as far as I know, he did no malice and. He came along and just said he wanted to help. I was formerly a Mason. I'm not. I'm like, formally, okay. When did they let you go? Do they let you go? Is that a possibility? Hello, I'd like a deal with the devil. Okay, here's where you sign. Sign there, please. Yes, thank you. Some years later, hello, I brought my receipt. I'd like a refund. I'll give you the money back. And can I have my soul? Unfortunately, no. It's been put in the vault. Oh, I'll give you interest. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a deal done, isn't it? I believe. Anyway,
No return on it now.
yeah. I'll look for some questions and see. It's we've got about half hour left, 30, 40 minutes. Blue lights equals martial law. Somebody, Tony.
Alpha and Omega, a title of God. Alpha was the first, and Omega, the last letter of the Greek, as Aleph and Tor were the first and last of the Hebrew alphabet. In the Talmud, from Aleph to Tor meant from first to last, including all between.
Aleph, yeah. Ah.
Do not read my sanctuary, but my saints, who are the sons of men, who have kept the whole law from Aleph to Tor. This explains the title. In each instance, St. John defines it in the Revelations 1. I am the Alpha.
Oh,
Sorry.
It's someone here, Irish Gale Force. If we find out the truth, then we live forever. And FUCK reincarnation. That's the one. That is the one. Go on, sorry, Andy.
The individual dies, but the family name lives on, doesn't it? The name always lives. It's just one who passes over to the other side. But, you know, as we know,
energy
spiritual and the ghostly words, you know, it's all these worlds that. So.
The energy. Yeah, go on, brother.
Of the Father's love begotten, ere the worlds began to be. He is Alpha and Omega. He the source and the ending. He of the things that are and have been, and the future years shall see, evermore and evermore. It's just so beautiful in its simplicity, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Nice and simple.
That's what it is, stupid simple. If you keep it stupid simple, it can't be anything else, can it?
True.
That's why I keep it that way. I'm not a clever man. I'm not an intellect. I'm not a university graduate, any of those things. I left school when I was 15 years old with a straight set of A's for absent. And that's it. Why are you laughing at, you plonker? And that's how it's been all the way since. So
monkey, I like it. Brilliant. No, we're not. We don't have attitudes, egos, and yeah, it is an enlightenment path. It's like we've all got a body here. Okay, this is where again CQV, legals, and rights. We've got a body, and inside the body there's a spirit. With that spirit, I believe there is in addition a soul. This is just my belief. It's not a learning curve, but we have a body, a spirit, and a soul. which is mind and conscious is in them too. There, when you go, what about your mind and conscious, body, and mind and the soul, the spirit, you know, whichever way you look at it. And when we die, the physical goes to the earth, and then the spirit and the soul. Well, I'd say the soul would be the bit that doesn't get recycled. Then, if you've learnt your lesson and you go on to your ascended path, and there is stories of this all through the ages, you know, of these, you know, the Egyptians especially, but pre to them, you know, and the rebirth of the sun, and the book there and the stories are in the emerald tablets. And you mentioning those words then are the Aleph and certain alpha and omega, the alpha beta and the alpha beta, and the language and the phonics. It's it's a deep road, and it appears that it was going on before, many years before, and this is the part of the coding again that's there for us to find should we dig deep enough. These words and the true
seek and ye shall find, brother. Seek and ye shall find. It's all as I've done. If I can do it, you can do it. You know, we can all do it.
Yeah, that's it. I did one the other day. I did some posting in the Facebook group and on the .com, and I did stuff like ships, hips for first, hips equals ships, and babies, man, born, birthed, product, contractions, you know, all this crap that comes out with it when you look at the legal side of a man being born and how they turn it into a legal birth, and they come out of ships, which are hips. And the words that the wordplay, like that one on Chiron last, where he says, on the deck of a boat, you have decking, okay? And when they used to sell products, they used to sell them straight from the boat, and you'd go on the boat, the merchant trading ship with the liquid dated pen manifest and dated up, and you'd go on the boat and you'd buy stuff, and he might cut you a good deal. When it comes down to cuts and kings and the words and the phonics, and the deal is the decking that is on the boat. And when the pallet was on the boat and you'd go to the boat, the same man would be in the same place each time on the boat, for instance, and you'd know where the good deal was to go on the boat, and he'd cut you a good deal because the deal was made of wood and it's on the boat and it's decking. So decking needs to be cut to be fitted to the boat, and the man sells his pallet on the boat. I'm like, are you for real? This is where all this is not right. Why didn't I find it fascinating the way that it's we've been. There is a path there and there is a clue to it all, but the more you look, the more it starts slapping you in the face. So get ready. Yes. Commerce, where it comes from. When you play a game of cards, the dealer will cut your cards, and it's like, oh, hey, it goes on again, and it shows you all of the, like what we said about deaths and mourning, and you know, worship, K11. You've mentioned Solomon's temple. Interesting, Andy. Very interesting.
And if ye walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sins. I will also send wild beasts among you. I shall rob you of your children, and destroy your cattle, and make you few in number, and your highways shall be desolate. If you will not be reformed by me by these things, but will walk contrary unto me, then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. And I will bring a sword upon you, that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered unto the hand of the enemy. And that's exactly what's going on as we speak. That's the times that we are in right now.
That's a bit harrowing. That's quite. I thought I was nearly going to interrupt and go, I thought we were friends at the beginning of that. I was like, wow, where's he going with this? Jesus Jones says, when you say the rock of salvation, or when the book says, and you read from the book and you say the rock of salvation, could that rock indeed be salvation from the sea? He says, now he's looking with the eyes. They're looking with the eyes, Andy. It's happening.
That's what it is. Yes, go on then.
Gangster.
So when you put your foundations in sand, what's going to happen? You have to attach your house firmly up on a rock. That's where the foundation is safely at. Not only do you have a solid rock foundation which cannot be blown over, You are also up high on the rock away from the water, from all the legal commercial seas. And should you choose to put one foot out into the sea to a little merry-round, you can do. But ultimately, it's there for your choice, because your house is buildeth with the correct foundation in the right place. That's what it's all about. Know thyself. Know thy house, how it's builded, who builded it.
Yeah, your house in order. Make sure your house is in order before you go out. Protect yourself, get everything. Yeah, solid foundations. Don't fight somebody. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Is a good one, but protect yourself.
Are you reading from the Old Testament? I'm reading from both the Old and the New Testament. I've just read a little bit there from Leviticus, which is the Old Testament. But yes, I flick from the pair. It depends what's relevant at the time, what we spake of at the time. I just tend to try and blend it all into the current topical conversations that we're having. So then if we are spaketh of iniquities on the realm due to civil infraction, well then if I can pull out the chapter and verse within the biblical text to help you deflect that, well, that's my aim and my mission. My work here is done. That's God's work right there. Not just a hearer of the word, but a doer. And that's what we're trying to do here. Thank
holding
you,
the church. Yeah, holding the church, the ministry of our own, ministry of Andy, if you like, because you're the main one here, if any one of us is to claim that. But we're all churches, and holding the church, your body is a temple is a church. Oh, the cats and dogs. Can I say about the cats and dogs, please? It will take me 2 minutes. I've recently discovered the cats and dogs are very important, only because of cannabis. Why? Canna, Spanish, dog. Bis means two, Latin, Spanish Latin, dog two. Right then, Dogon tribe, who's heard of them? Many of you, okay? Cirrus A, Cirrus B, they're the dog stars going around Cirrus. Allegedly, the Dogon tribe got their name from the invading, we'll say, what did I say at the beginning of the hangout? The surreptitious invading secretly on this planet with, our family here, our tribe with the 12 tribes of Israel being invaded by an invisible military type galactic surreptitious force, and the Dogons recorded all of this, and it's something to say where Dogon backwards is no God, and God and dog backwards. You've got that bit, okay. You've got the dog star, you've got Cirrus A and B, and now cannabis is called cannabis in the word Latin description. Is it for the plant, for the, what's it called when you're in the plant? Ornithology, and the ornithological God Lord references for cannabis. It comes from that. Now we've got the Vati father, Vader, Sanskrit, German, and you've got can, Vatican. Now, yes, you can put VAT, I can, that's one translation of it, but Vati and can is now dog, Spanish, and Vati is father. Now I take you to Italy, from the Dogon, from Cirrus to all over. This is what we do, and we go back to the Godfather, God, dog, father, dog, father, Godfather, Vatican, Italian, English, whichever way babble you want to put it. Hello, we see you. We're coming. Yielding. The cats, okay? The cats, I've said it before, the catalytic. I'm dyslexic, so when I look at catalysts, catalysts, I'm like, what? What's a catalyst? And it's a catalyst. And I struggle with the words, writing, spelling, speaking, and my brain says that's got cat in it. And you go to a cathedral to pray. The cat has 9 lives, doesn't it? Yes. What did the Egyptians have by the pharaoh's tombs? Cats. Yes. What did they train? Cats. All right. What is the things in history of cats? And so 9
The
lives.
Catholics.
Get the bed. We've got dogs and cats running around invading the plane.
It's raining cats and dogs, mate.
Who let the dogs out? Dog tags and Dogtanian, was it not Dogtanian? The Musketeer.
I don't know, mate. The bloody dog house. That's what I'm familiar with. On the dog bed.
Kev, it's over to you. It's Kev's time for. Go on.
He's dropped off.
He's sleeping. Cats and dogs, though. I noticed it. Cats have 9 lives, I was going to say. And what did we say about when I did some study of the book of Daniel? I found in Ephesians or somewhere, when the devil offers, Satan offers Jesus the 9 realms, 9 lives. 9 is an important number in Vortex. So yeah, just interesting. The cats and dogs, star dog.
Hello.
Tokas. See, even the tokas, right? How does somebody name a new type of cannabis star dog if they didn't know all of that? You wouldn't be able to name that breed and that strain star dog if you didn't have some kind of astrotheological, historical conceptualization. And whoever it is out there that name that breed star dog, from me to them, kudos for those points just mentioned. That means that you know what we know, and whoever's making this super strong weed know some deep shit then to call it that.
Good shit, dog. You're a star.
Pachinga. So it's not just being made by average Joes on the back streets of Uganda in a cardboard hut here or whatever you think. Kazakhstan, what we've brought out there, Ali G, Sasha Baron Cohen. My sister in Kazakhstan has sex with the donkey. Well, she doesn't. She's got her mortgage paid off in essence, kind of, by a tax offset. That's how third world your Kazakhstani country is. It's not a piss take to them. I love all the realm and the family, but if we're struggling with debt over here and credit to debtor, and we've got Benicia doing the great work there in the courts with Odira, there's two of them. Sorry, I forgot him. And then we've got Kazakhstan offsetting tax income, and with what you've got in a mortgage, they're not so third world. We're third world with how we are and how we act, because news to the Ali G fans.
Well, I don't know how you would offset something that doesn't exist anyway. The whole thing is just a farce. The whole thing is just imaginary. It's all a belief system. If you want to believe into all that shit, then good luck to you. But we're here to put things straight. I'm sick of messing about.
Oh, yeah, we're going to Chancery. We're primed, ready for Chancery, fam, and we've pointed out the bits and the reasons why. But until others get to this point, then it's just a piss take on the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and its banking central of London, yes, and what we're doing and how we're going through austerity. But yet, Kazakhstan and the Prime Minister.
Austerity is a made-up word that they know nothing of.
Yeah. So while you reside in the general public and you're in the public realm, you're at the mercy of. Yes, and you will.
So they've created this, and no wrong can be righted with the same level of consciousness which created it. So that's why we're having the same old revolution here, same old circle, same old action, same old bullshit. Let's cut down to the chase here, you know.
All right then, yeah, because we're dead and you haven't claimed your body back, as I've said, under the 3 jurisdictions of venue, property, and personality. You know what? I'm not going through it all now. You should pay attention. But the point is that when you're dead, they want to charge you, and they can't listen. They can't get to you when you're dead and you're a dead corpse. So what they do is they charge you, and they charge you back. That's why you get charged, because you're dead and you come back to life. So once you've been charged, you can now interface with this. It's not my way of looking at
like
it.
A dead battery.
Yeah. So you are bang on, brother, because whatever you've not sorted yourself out, you're dead, and they will charge you and charge you and charge you. What happens when you have a cardiac arrest? They charge you back to life. You get discharged from places, the army, and also from a hospital. That's because it's a military installation, and much like the army, the hospital follow military.
Yes. Then you have a penalty charge. Oh, hello. Plenty of charging points. There's plenty of points across the realm for you to be charged. Don't you worry of that, brethren.
Unless you can show that you're alive. Bizarrely enough, we know you're alive. We don't need to prove that, because we're here and doing, we've got heartbeats and consciences. I think, therefore I am. But to them, yes, they need to know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, yeah, because we're all classed as dead corpses until
we are all energy, says Irish Gale Force. Yes, we are all energy. Where the mind goes, energy flows. And that's why we're not to suffer any iniquities. To suffer is to allow, and that's where the mind is at. So to keep yourself free from those things and think of the higher raised consciousness. Beautiful.
The best weapon you've got is not, even to Londoners, the best weapon you've got is, because if you're in a bad mental state in London and you're panicky and anxious and you go on the street, people will detect that and see that and feed on it. That's what these demons do, the agents of Satan. So the best weapon you have, even against a masked assailant that's going to rob you for your iPhone, Android, money, purse, whatever it is they need these days, if you have a strong mental will about you and inwardly project and outwardly manifest, you're interfacing with Hermetic principles, which is what Christ, the Lord, the one that built this realm and the one that we talk about, is mixed in with. Is also when I've said before, this is what's confused people. Oh, Christ, Hermes, Buddha, Jesus, and certain other in his realms are all known as one. When I say that, the stories that are projected in amongst these different continents and time zones and dynasties are all the same, but the story is slightly different. So what we've come to see, and researchers and discoverers are that these stories are very, very similar. And they all involve a rebirth, like the Zeitgeist put out there and others, yes, since like the last 10 years, we've been in this biblical revolution and decoding new messages. And the new messages point out to the Hermeticism, and Thoth is the man, and Thoth is the original, but he's also known as Hermes, the thrice great. Now, when I say the thrice born, to be 3 times great, you're probably born 3 times in my mind. So that's with Christ and the similarities too.
What I spoke of, mate, it's a principality, isn't it? It's all the principle of man. All this written law that we have today comes from the principalities right from back in the day of Neanderthal, where they wouldn't do wrong by one another. And all that is written here on in today, therein, all derives from Hinduism. All through Druids, all through paganism, Catholicism, Buddhism, all these other isms and issues and stuff that's of the realm, all these belief systems, all derives from Hinduism. Oldest religion on the planet. And it's the laws of succession, testation, will, and all these things that we have today all come from that religion. And the war on the realm this day is still of religion. The banks perpetuate every war, one religion against the other, while they fund both sides and rake in millions of pounds of profit after printing it into thin air with no substance backing it and no intrinsic value. So the whole thing is one big war game, the battle of religions. So whilst we talk about faith of this, the KJV book, it's a legal construct of how to operate on the seas of commerce. And once you understand it and comprehend what it's saying to us, you'll get some remedies and you will have the maintenance and cure going forward that every man is afforded upon the registration of their birth. And that's that for me. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll stop being a holder in due course and actually become the actual grantor then.
The legal title holder.
Yeah.
You will have the equitable interest. That's what we seek.
Instead of having the kingdom, you've got a ticket, okay? And the ticket shows that you've got a ticket to the kingdom. But if you don't know what to do with that ticket, then you never.
We are the kings of the domain. King domain, mate. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
We have dominion over the domain. Kings of the court. Clean hands and equity. Strikes and wins the day.
That's what Kev says.
He's out with the dogs having a fag by the looks of it. His dogs do not smoke some, don't they?
No, I'm back indoors. That's your dogs go mad.
I thought you left them at the back smoking on their own. Are they old enough?
There's only one down there at the moment. I've got more cats around me at the moment than dogs.
I'm just trying to keep myself upbeat, uplifted. I have a sad, heavy, broken heart this week. I've just had affirmation as to the date I'm to attend my dear friend's funeral. It's the 17th of this month, so I should be off the realm. My phone will be switched off. Everything will be off, apart from me. I should be switched on, and I should be there for my fellow brethren, showing my peace and love and respect for him and his family and his sons, doing that which I can. So that's the reason for my plenty of book readings tonight as well. So it gives me comfort. It gives me inner peace and sanctum that I seek, and I hope that it can just bring a little bit of love and peace. And if it just sows a seed for somebody else, for them to go and read the verse and for them to have an understanding, and if it can bring them joy and peace also, well then again my work here is done, and that makes me a happy man. Yeah, so blessed be everybody. Godspeed, we'll get there.
Bless Andy.
Woof woof. I mean, yes, sorry, dogs. Talking about dog synchronicity. Canna, it's me with the dogs, by the way. Sorry, I'm just having a moment with the Canna. Hello, it's come to say, yes, you was right, Dave. I'm going to tell you now, I'm a dog log. Yeah, talk about the dogs, will you? Well said, Andy. Much love to you, brother. Much love.
Right back at you, everybody. I'm very heartbroken. You know, I've lost a damn good friend that you could turn to in any instance for any matter, and there would be no shame, there would be no mockery, there would be no judgment, there would be no anything, and you could go there open-heartedly and say whatever you needed to say. And I'll tell you something, that there's not many places of this realm that I could tell you that a man could go and do that with another man. It's very rare, and I've lost that rarity. It's a huge hole.
We try to fill it. Yeah, you can't just carry it with you, and you should be thankful, give thanks for knowing him. And like we said on the other day, it's easier said than done. It's a sad time because you miss them. It's that companionship, and you know the ships that we've got used to, which is actually the hoods. You know, in our realm, the hoods, the brotherhoods, sisterhoods. You know, and we have packs, and you know our words
We've
are
done
our
many,
bonds.
exactly.
Yeah,
We've done many
words
things
and
together. We've
bonds.
risked life and limb together.
Yeah,
We've laid underneath, 30-ton lorries held up with bits of scaffolding plank and flimsy bit of metal and stuff, so we can get the job done quickly and get the wheels turning again, so we can all be earning a crust. And I'll come home some days, I've got grease behind my nails, up my nose, in my ears, and I'm burnt head to foot with welding rocks and whatnot from where I've welded one back end of a lorry onto another back end of a lorry. And he couldn't thank me enough. He couldn't thank my intelligence enough that I have it within me to do these types of things. And I'm so understated and so humble in that, which I know when it comes to the engineering and things like that, it's just a beautiful connection that we had. He seen my intelligence, he appreciated me, and he valued me for who and what I am and what I can do. And it's very humbling because not everybody treats you that way in that realm. You're just a name and a number at most places,
Yeah.
and you're not recognised for whom you are. You're just seen for what you are and what your profitability is. And it's a huge thing that I've lost.
Oh, you wasn't reporting in for duty, and you was there in a different capacity, and you had love and respect given back, which a corporate dead entity is unable to give, man. And in fact, it just gives disciplinary sanctions, disciplines, so forth, and suspensions, and ultimately leads to your dismissal due to gross misconduct. The ways and the words that they use there, whilst they're all committing gross misconduct left, right, and centre, infracting on health and safety in the workforce, and fork truck training, driving, licensing, shift hours worked, and having sex with the staff. It's all right for them up the top, but they get wind of it down below, like ganders doing what goose is, then it's disgusting. It is, yeah. And shareholders' profits above things, and you meet a man like that, and you get into I'd say relationship. You get into a pattern, and a form of, you become family, don't you? It wasn't a relationship as legal like we know. It's a family turnaround, then, isn't it? You go into the fold, taken under the wing, and so forth.
Exactly what it is, mate. You become a part of the fixture and fittings. You're counted upon, you're relied upon, you're loved and cherished, and all these things. So it's rare, that's all. It's just rare.
We give a moment to all the ones that have lost somebody through the big C, and needless medical ways, and torture and negligence, so forth.
That's what's so close to me too, because at the end of the day, a brain tumour has taken him, and I sit here this day, albeit benign, with my own brain tumour, and I realise how precious we all are, how short the day is, and how shorter the night is. So we're to make best, and I've had some real difficult, hard times very recently, and much decisions to make and things. And by the grace of this book and those around me that have the faith that I do, it's pulled us all through. And if we can all be on that level of that vibration, that resonance, the ascension that's required under the covenants to see that which is right and proper. My goodness, the realm would change overnight. The way that we see each other, the way that we look at each other and value each other isn't there at the moment to put things
the way
right.
the way that we choose to present ourselves to one another. Yeah, so we present ourselves in a selfish, materialistic. Not all of us, and me guilty. I was angry the other day. Kev, Andy, I don't know, Greg heard. I was quite stressed on Friday and I just lost it. You know, we're not saints, but we present ourselves. We are conscious, us three, the scribes, the family, the ones in the trust, you know, that we've got and so forth. When I say trust, I mean lawful trust. Not don't think of paperwork in courts now. The trust we've got here in the churches.
Pacts and conventions.
Yeah, it's how we present. We often don't. We don't. Yeah, pacts and conventions, covenants and agreements, and yeah, we often don't just take that time to think how we. Anne-Marie says to me when I'm out in the supermarket, David, you're too loud. I'm like, oh, I am, aren't I? I don't argue with her. I go, yeah, I am. I need to be quieter sometimes, and I present myself in a I don't know, a common way sometimes, and I should, you know, we got to look at this, and it's not a bad thing. It's just that, you know, in any way, but that's not an aggressive, nasty, you know, murderous, whatever, cannibalistic, you know, whatever, paedophilic, and all these horrible social ways that we can present. And yeah, we don't have a great role model because, to be fair, what the information and the entertainment that's out there, it's all programming us. And even if, you know, you laugh at it because you've laughed at it, if you laugh at something that's black humor, your brain saves it because you've laughed at it, emotion attached to it, and that builds us. And we've become, it isn't our fault, but there isn't no excuse, but there is a bit of an excuse. Yeah, like you've said, forgive them. He will forgive us. He will forgive us. The God's God, who, whatever, the one that created us, I'm sure in the afterlife, other domains and dimensions will understand. You can't, you know, your spirit cannot lie. Apparently we didn't write, and we communicated with the eye, intuition, and
you need to be forgiven for ascension in this life, brother, to ascend through the next. That's the crack. You to be righteous and honourable and do what you can here and now. We only have the now. Tomorrow shall never come. So
it's never too late to say sorry and to ask for your
that's
sins
right.
to be forgiven. And as long as you get there, then you've got there. If you never get there, then the gates will be closed. Yeah.
That's how it's said.
You won't ask for forgiveness till you get to that conscious point of self-awareness. Then, when you are self-aware of your actions, impact, and
you've got to be spiritually ready. You've got to be ready in your heart and your soul and in your spirit, baby. It's as simple as that. You know, religion is for those who fear hell. Spirituality is for those who have already been there. That's how I see it. So my faith and my spirit, my will, is because I've already seen hell. I've been to hell enough bloody times.
Oh, that ties in with something I posted last week. Law is a spirit commands law because spirit wills and has a will. So spirit will use law. Get me? And then legal is for the flesh. Is for the dead corpse that doesn't know what's what. They don't wait. They know what is what, but they don't know what is what. They just strut.
That's your passion and your motoring again, pal.
Fuck, Fat Boy Slim wrote it down on the track there, Kev. Do you remember that one, boys? Yes,
definitely.
We are Southside spinners, and we are. It's amazing, it really is. So, I just wanted to put it out there. Thank you.
West Side
Remix. Hold on, kids, you might die. We do need a party this time. Getting emails about seminars and party. What? Conference? I said conference, no party there. But I don't know what you heard. I said conference, annual conference, yes.
Annual jig and dance. Make sure you got the right laces in. Let's have you.
Trying land, yeah. There's been a venue offered. I haven't chased it up. I will. It's on my list of stuff to do on holiday. A little list I've got. I am having a break, but yes, I'll try and get a conference sorted for those that are asking into emails.
In due course.
Yeah. If you can help us, let us know. We just need a bit of private land, to be fair. We'll sort the rest.
Isn't that party due again soon? Oxford.
What? Yeah, so that what you're on about there earlier on John Middleton, it's the answer is yes. I'm sure you know it is as well. I have some of that, and the answer is yes. And so there's also another comment just gone in. Someone in need of oil, I can help.
No connection. I can't see
and
anything.
That's come from Stephen Drake, that is. So if nobody can't contact him, if they wish to contact me, then I can maybe go in between for you. How's that? So if anybody
I'm
is in need
Midlands.
through desperation, you know, it's this isn't recreational. This is man's health. You know, it's life and death. So serious stuff. It's not to be taken lightly. It comes with a protocol. There's a whole diet to take, and you know it's strict. You have to be strict with yourself, and you have to be strict with it. So it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but if it was all easy, we'd all be at it, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we can give further information until you two get online. Andy, you can do all that. I can help facilitate. You'd have to email me then, and then we've got some pay and go handsets we can use. We can. No, it's all right. I'm up to date. I've got. I'm just saying, when it comes to life and death, man's on it. That's one thing. When I say we prioritize, this is called. This is it. This is what prioritization in action, mother. You know, be careful on this instance.
Take it in a private.
Yeah, that's it, brother. So give us an email, David at splspro.com. I will pass on to Andy and the ones that need to know what we will, can advise, inform you actually, no advice, inform you of, and we'll help.
Well, we can all just help one another. A helping hand, which is reaching out, and that's what it is, mate. So we can hold on and pull each other out of the water. The bank's getting higher, the water level is getting lower, it's getting further out of reach. That's how it feels. So we're to stand arm in arm, make a chain. You're only as strong as your weakest link. We don't need any weak links. We all need to be on the same hymn sheet, singing from the same song, all rowing together at the same time. That's where the strength is. Unity, the strength in numbers as one. When you're all singing the exact time, perfect together. Synchronicity is the key, That's what it's all about. Power to us. We're going to get there, I have faith.
Oh, yes, I do like this. I'm just going to say, hey boy, hey girl to Irish Gale Force. Oh, wow. Yes, I am. Good men are hard to find. I think they must be on about us three here. Thank you, Lux. Amen. We should all live that way, teaching each other with compassion and respect from Mad of the Pieman clan. Come on, I'm just going through the comments. We're gonna
harmony, resonance. That's what it is. We are harmonic, and when we're all at the same pitch, the same notes, the same level of harmony, and we are unified, common unity. You get it? We're in the community. We're together as one. Strength in that unification. Spaketh the same word, seeketh the same goal, and ye shall find. It cannot be rebuked. The word of God cannot be rebuked. It is there, written therein, to be stood on. It has to be taken in by each and every one of us. We have to have our own level of perception and understanding of it. And when we all have the same one, which it clearly perceives to us, that's when you gain your strength, which is given within. That's what I say about being fired. We then have the strength. We are then watertight to hold the information, to hold all that is given to us. That's what it's about. Go, girl.
Yeah, well said, brother. I like that. So you're just laughing at Jonesy. Then good woman is hard to find. It's proper busy tonight in here. Well, we've done well tonight. We have all right, and we've not really covered we have
a good heart these days is hard to find. I think that's what they sing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shergal Farky.
That's him.
them lot that you were reading about were eating wheat of heart, fats and livers, and God Lord, you lost me there, sucking honey out of stones. I'm like, what's going on here? My mind was a scary place.
Well, you've got to go in depth, mate. It's no good meandering across the surface, it's in all those documents. If you get down deep, baby, get the full depth of what go on here.
Yes, I. Wow.
There you go.
Take heart and prepare your soul from Lux. Yes, sir.
Andy just lights it up. Thank you, Jez, my fellow brethren. I do my best. I do try and shine my light in these dark times. Boy, I've had dark times myself, and to the point of no turnaround where I've had my life saved. I'd done myself in. I'd had enough of the darkness. I didn't ever think there was any light. And this book and my belief which gave me new leaf and relief, has made me a different man. It's taught me a different thing from this book, and what my nan has taught me, the culmination of them, it's just right and proper. It's that to be a man, not a person. It's dead easy, really, when you get the grasp of it. It's a beautiful thing. We are all precious, beautiful things. We just have to realise it. Drop the hatred, drop the ego, drop all the competitive nature. Be as one. Love thy neighbour as he has loved us, and that's how we're to go forward.
Indeed, yes, I.
Stephen Drake Energizer. I think he's referring to the Energizer battery bunny. You know, we are electrical cells. We are electrified. We do have electrolytes. We do have an electromagnetic currency passing through our soul, our body, our vessel. We do take our shoes and socks off and ground ourselves through Mother Earth herself, who dissipates all of the electricity through the strikes and everything that she has, through the weather and everything. The whole realm is electrified. Everything upon it, everything with a heartbeat is electrified. So it's there around us. Everything is vibration. Everything is energy. And once you see it and feel it and you trust it, trust your gut feeling and never mind your mind chatter, that's when we start getting there. You know, it's separating the passion from the emotion. As you said, the heart from the mind. It's all clearly written within the book. JJ, I ground myself on the carpet and sometimes on the cat.
Nice.
But there you go. That's what they've done, these cats now. The bloody bread bold, aren't they? What are they all about? Look a bit fruity.
Oh, what
the
the
the born
Sphinx
with
ones.
no hair, and the price has just gone up 3 times as a result. Hang on a
Yeah.
moment. Yeah, let's feel
Jeez,
sorry
yeah.
for it. Put the price up.
Can't even let the bugger out in the winter. They've got to put jumpers on it.
I know, mate. You got to start putting your own clothes on the bloody thing. What's it all about?
Christ. Might as well have a baby.
All the birds taking the piss out of it.
Oh no. I mean, my missus likes them, but as I say, I mean, having to keep the bloody thing in. They can't go out in the sun either because obviously they've got no protection. It's no life for a cat, is it? Anyway, that's it. That's my 2 pence worth about cats.
Oh, can I just read this comment? Lisa Gray. Your light is enlightenment. Thank you for sharing the word, dear Andy. And thank you, David and Kevin. Your efforts are far-reaching. Blessed be, sister. Straight back at you. How's that for a beautiful sentiment towards us then, ladies?
Oh,
Thanks, Lisa. I did just put a little response in the chat room to that. I did spot it. Yeah, thanks very much, Lisa. Much appreciated.
There you go. You see, when you talk from the heart, it goes straight to the heart. When you talk from the mind, it goes straight from the mind, and that's when you're arguing. You talk heartfelt, loving, spaketh sentences, it goes straight to where it should go, mate, and that's where you get your learned, comprehensive understanding. It's the only way to do it. You won't do it in anxiety. You won't do it in fear. You won't do it in those conditions. You've got to be at peace. You've got to be rested. You've got to be at ease with yourself, no dis-ease. And it'll all flow in then, otherwise you get too confused. Your heart spaketh, but your mind spaketh louder than your heart, and then you start listening to its iniquities and its deceptive deceitfulness that it will play on you because it's pessimistic. And that's what's the matter with the realm this day. The pessimistic man with the ego is trying to beat everybody. And we've got to drop all that stuff, listen to the heart and respond with the gut. Don't react with the mouth and the head. You know, only the fool speak in haste. The wise man.
Well, only the fool and the programmed one, because the programming and the way that it is. Look at road rage. Yeah, they're not fools. They're intelligent, loving family members. But once you get little bit late, you get up late. and your day, you stub your toe, you get in a bad frame of mind, your whole day starts going bad. You get in the traffic and you're 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes late. You've already been late 2 times. You're looking at getting one of those, what's it now, at work with the courts there. You're going to look at getting sanctioned or disciplinary action, third occurrence in the same month. So then you start to floor it a bit. You don't consider other road users. You cut somebody up. Yeah, they have a go at you. You have a go at them. You're in the wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. We're all good, honest, souls here. But the system does this to us: time, money, films, programming, and then next thing you know, you're having an argument with a stranger, and effing and jeffing, whatever, and you crack on again, and your heart's going now. Your temperature's gone up. You put others in risk. You yourself in risk, and why? Because you happen to get up late. Is the we're not fools, but we are, because it's us doing them actions, and
It's
I'm
the
not
ego,
defending, but it's
and then the
very
arrogance
hard.
with the ignorance. Yes, mate.
It's hard. It really is. That's
You
why I
rush into
say
your own death. Rush
we're
into
not
your own
saints.
death.
Yeah, we're not saints, but it takes a big conscious effort, and you program yourself over time. It gets there. It really does. But
To do that which is righteous and honourable far outweighs all the wrongs. It takes far more energy to do that which is right and proper. It's far easier to tell lies. It's far easier to do things underhanded these day and age, because there's so much of it. You could just blend straight in with everyone else. If you can't beat them, join them. You know the old adage. It takes far more effort and energy and power and everything within you to do that which is right and proper in front of your peers, because it might be adverse to what they are thinking or saying, but nonetheless, that which needs to be done needs to be done, and those around you will either love you or hate you for it, but again, that's their business, not yours. If you have the clean hands, a good heart and good intent, then do which is right and proper to you. That's the only way we can do this.
Agreed.
Because surely if it's right and proper to you, Kev, it's right and proper to me. You wouldn't suffer me a wrong, you wouldn't suffer me a harm, you wouldn't kick my dog, you wouldn't steal my car, and likewise would I to you, and that's how we operate. That's the law.
Yeah.
Nice and easy. LORE, the law.
Yeah.
that's the true law, yeah. Man's law, the
Integrity, not out of greed, says Mad Pie Man. That's right, not to be of this world, not to be a pursuant. The pursuant of all greed hath all evil. That's how it goes. That's why we're to be charitable in our works. That's why we give unto ourselves freely.
Yeah.
We donate ourselves, we give ourselves. And that's why it's heavenly to do that. Because if you don't, you're creating your own hell. If you don't volunteer yourself, that which is heavenly to one can be hell to another, because he doesn't want to be there. Heaven, hell, God, love, hate, all these things, all within. It's how we manifest them, and how the laws of magnetism and attraction will come to you through that which you manifest. That's the law. I can't help it. I just have to abide by it myself.
Yeah, that's what we interface with, their principles, hermeticism, laws of cause and effect, many things that are in the realm that have been disguised in amongst religion and legal constructs that we didn't realize it was to do with charges, energy, discharging, charging you, and so forth, to do with the dead and the occult. And then you get the research done by Crowley and so forth, and others that just perplex you, and you get into it and you're like, wow, this is too deep for a beginner. And obviously, I'm gonna have to wait a bit till, and then it comes round a few years later, you can tackle it again, and you go, oh, I see. Like a cursor flashing on the screen. They haven't, gone too far with it in cursive text, and the dissonance does make it extra hard to learn. Though that is a big factor that we've got to recognise.
Absolutely, and that's one of the first recognitions right there of thyself. To put your hand in the air and say, "Yep, I've been duped. Yep, I've been a fool.
Yeah.
Yep, I had no clue. Well, now that I do have a clue, now that I don't be fooled anymore, now that I do see what's what, I can make better changes. I can make more informed decisions. I can be more fruitful in that which I do and say. Because if it's not any of those things, it's best not to do or say anything. And that's the wisdom of the knowledge right there. When to and when not to do or say anything at all. And that's what I try and practice in my life each and every day.
Yeah, and in a courtroom, there's a language of silence as well, isn't there? You've got
everything with your own wife. You say the wrong thing to your own wife at the wrong time. See how you crack on.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You're in the garden tonight, boyo. Let alone in the courtroom. I'd rather take on any officious intermeddler in any courtroom than say the wrong thing at the wrong time to my significant other. So, it is what it is. So to know what you're saying or know when not to say is very important in life. It's as simple as that, Go with your gut feeling once again, like I do. Again, I'm not saying it's without trouble, because doing that has had me thrown out many a time, but it's always been through the truth, so stand by your guns, baby. The truth shall always out anyway. So you just mouse out it in the first instance and be done with whatever reaction or response that you get to it. That's how I've always enacted. That's what my nan taught me.
This is true, yeah. There's silences. There's a language. All right, then. Pregnant silence. If you tube scribes, if you'd like to research pregnant silences, there you go. A silence can get pregnant and give birth to something. As we're talking common law and things and whatever, imagine a word can give birth. All right, no, not a word. What is it? A silence. It's a bit of space and time, then, isn't it? So space and time can give birth to answers. And if you are silent long enough, then that pregnancy will develop, and the born product is, you've waited and been silent. You got given something. So you learn when you listen. I found as well. You do learn. You don't interrupt somebody and you carry on, like with certain positions when you get places. If you don't, let them speak, you'll never hear what they've got to say. If you never hear what they've got to say, then there you go.
A fool uttereth all of his mind. The wise man hold back that which he knoweth.
Yes, he does. The wise man does. But we've had a lot of that holding back for different reasons, though. Yeah, there is a reason we hold back. We do it for protective measures, not because we're arrogant or because we want to profit from it. We do it because of the responsibilities that come with not being secretive, arrogant, or anything. No, financially, we have to be careful, don't we, boys, with what and how.
Absolutely, it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous weapon. I've been classed as a dangerous weapon. So if I pass my knowledge to the next man becomes a dangerous weapon also. But if it isn't correlated or understood correctly, it can be a dangerous weapon unto himself. Mm-hmm. Self-destructive, that the home goal equipment is the last thing we need, isn't it? So we're to be fully comprehensive in that which we know.
Indeed.
But there you go. I don't know if there's any more questions or anything in the chat room.
Well, I'm going to say we'll get ready to shut it down, if that's okay. I've got to get some kip and then I'm going to take the Queen.
I'm just getting warmed up. You're joking, aren't you? I'm just getting going.
First name Joe, family name King. That's my new public identity, actually. Thanks, Andy. I'm gonna private when I become let's think the master of my person. Then shortly down the line, I would like to formally give a public notice here and now that David of the family estate clan Jeremita will go private, and nobody after this conversation is allowed to address me or use that trademark. Copyrighted name. You can address me as first name Joe and family name King. Yeah, I like that. I've been thinking I need to change and get a new bit of. So it's like, hello, it's Joe King here.
Oh, I thought it'd rather more. You'd be rather more suited to Jew on.
That was the old David, not the new and improved inner sanctum David. This
Oh,
isn't just
okay.
any David. This
So
isn't
we're
just
due
any.
off.
Let me go for Peter. I'll be a Jew, Peter.
You, Peter.
No, Pitar. I'll be a Pitar then, just to be different. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, boys, I love you.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. So we will get at some point Docker and Steve on for a chat about common law. I'm sorry if anybody. It's gone well. It has gone swimmingly. I'm glad we did what we did. I think I made the right decision for the right reasons, and I'd like to say good night, goodbye, blessings, and we can hang out. My mum's got Wi-Fi, so we can hang out and do it again next Saturday. You know, if we'd like to, and promote and chat and see and get it done. You know, properly, good 3 hours, because the mic will be busy, so we'll need a bit of time. Go a bit earlier, and you can help me out with you know, something to do, because I won't be partying, and we can look at doing that next week then, and go again and concentrate on the
I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah.
I am. I like to have the challenge. Trying to undermine someone who has mastered their mind is like putting a man who can teleport in a cage.
Who says that? Is that in the chat room?
No, it's just something that's in my mind. It used to be on one of my old phones, one of the old sayings, and it's just stuck with me. And these individuals that come with their leading questions at me and things like this, it takes me back to that saying, because many of them haven't come anybody that's built a house like I have, and it perplexes them somewhat. So it's just a little reminder for myself, mate. It's just a little chuckle, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, bro.
And you always ask me for the last words of the evening, and that's just a few of them right there.
Yeah, baby. Good words. Or swords, words, yes. Kev, words, last.
Oh, thanks, thanks everybody for joining us. No, it's been a good night. I'm in a bit of pain now, so I've sort of quietened down a little bit. But yeah, it's all good. Thanks everybody for joining us. Everybody in the chat room. Thank you, David. Thank you, Andy. It's been a great night. We'll see you all real soon. Let's get this common law thing. Let's see what we can get sorted out there, and have a proper hangout with a few of us, and that should be very interesting.
LORE. I'll just leave you with this, shall I? If God wished to hide, God would choose man to hide in. That is the last place man would go to look for God.
Wait.
All is within.
Coming. Yes, it is. It's very quick. What if God was one of us? Wasn't it just a slap? She's already read that bit. She made that. Was it Alanis Morissette that made that tune?
Not all angels play the harp and sing, baby. Some are called into battle.
Yeah, that's right. The Battle Angels. I don't
Cheers,
know.
Jerry.
There's a Marvel film that's out that I skimmed through that's got quite a lot of stuff like that in, where this woman is trying to, one of the characters in the sea, I don't even know the names, it's how much of a fan I am, but a woman, there's a scientist who's made an engine that does light speed, scribes, you'll know the name of this film, help a poor tired man out, and in the film, they're battling to get this cube, it's called a grammatron, tetragrammatron, cube, power source, alien, space, green skin, and they're all flying around trying to there's quite a lot of relevance in that film about entities, God, and they say in it, here it is, they say that that there was a I don't know, an onslaught of different races, and they give quite a lot away in that, a lot of messages in it, and I don't know what Marvel's trying to do here, but they're projecting a lot of space imagery. Okay, now I have my beliefs. I'm allowed my beliefs. I'm not going to project them on you lot, and I like you to have your beliefs, because when we get together, we put our beliefs together, we find new stuff. So they project these ships going from the planet into space, and you know, with God. And this last closing thought said, what's happening out there is that man is being, don't put the blame on me. I'm only human. Only human. Have you seen what we can do? Yes, being only human, we are incredible. And you think you're on this planet, on this ball, with just us and the insignificance of us and this massive universe, and you know, the fact that you know, the way that they portray it is that we're insignificant, tiny, and we've got to be careful and we've got to live in fear and the aliens are coming. When if you look at the book and the way that the realm is put, you could feel quite safe and quite safe in the realm that we're in, and we know that everything we've been told and led and are fed is wrong. So when they tell you stuff and they show you stuff, bear that in mind. And you see the programming that's going off with the characters, with the actors, with the languages, with the script writing, and you know that, like I've said, about what they put into your brain, and once it's in there, you can't get rid of it sometimes. So very interesting, the God factor, and how you led on
Fortunately,
from that.
yeah, fortunately, some are born with spiritual immune systems that sooner or later give rejection to the illusionary worldview grafted upon them from birth through social conditioning. They begin sensing that something is amiss and start looking for answers. Inner knowledge and anomalous outer experiences show them a side of reality others are oblivious to, and so begins their journey of awakening. Each step of the journey is made by following the heart instead of following the crowd, and by choosing knowledge over the veils of ignorance.
I like that.
You're bound to, I said it.
Yeah, but is there a quotation? Is it quoted from somewhere?
It's just me being an arse. I do apologise, mate.
Yeah.
I'm reflecting you.
Someone, if it's,
it's Henry Bergson, mate.
Oh, thank you. No, it's just
Henri. Yeah, it's Henri spelt, mate. Henry Bergson.
I like it a lot. Thank you.
That's a nice.
And yeah, we're all good then. We're going to be okay. I'll monitor stuff from abroad, but when I say that, just emails, and I'll be on the .com a lot, and I'm going to be working with the army man that's presented himself. I'm saying army man because he is an ex-army man. He's got transferable skills.
He's a good man, mate.
I asked for a man who was, I did say, you know, anybody that's got these skills and we need help, and he's heard, and he said, I've got them and I want to help. I'm like, well, let's have a go, and we're going to do some coursework and bite-sized videos for your like courses, contents, and you get graded online with a certificate, a pass mark, and your key competence is coming up. So I'm going to take some time off, but I'm going to keep busy with practical things. All right. So when I come back, if you bring forth
what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you.
I looked into the face of my enemy and I saw my own face. What? Yes. That's interesting. Yeah, we do. We pray and we ask and we interact. And sometimes, yeah, your prayers, if you pray correctly and wish and the intent, you get answered. And I want to, take some time out.
It's all energy. Understand that everything is energy. Everything you think and believe and feel consists of energy. Your attitude or your focus vibrates, and those vibrations affect the quantum fields that underlie, constitute and determine the outcome of physical matter. Hence, your focus actually has the power to alter the appearance of your physical circumstances. I just love it. I absolutely love it.
You know, you're speaking our language. I'm loving hearing you speaking like this. This is a new side of you that's, it's interesting. Interesting. You found, yes.
I haven't found anything. It's always been within, mate. But we asked me to come in here and speak law, and the law is within that book that I read. I very rarely speak of myself. I very speak of my own feelings, my own spirituality. You know, what's private to me, because it's private to me, isn't it? Unless you're in my house drinking coffee and we're breaking bread, you'll probably never ever know. So
yeah, true.
I'm just a loving, spiritual, giving, sharing, likable fellow. I would hope to think so. When you function from love, your inside creates your outside. When you function from fear, your outside creates your inside.
How true. we three do function from love, and send lots of love to you both in your times of need. Yeah, Kev's on the road to recovery, and I wish him a speedy recovery. And yeah, you take the time out and you take a rest. I'm going to take a rest. Andy's basically going to be taking as much time as you need to sort that out and your bits and bobs. The funeral, I mean, when I say that, sorry. And we'll reconvene next Saturday probably. We'll have a quiet week, I reckon, and get some rest and energies. And I'll keep my finger on the pulse, and we'll see what happens, boys. Then.
No worries.
Yeah, much love to you, and many, many thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks
love to everybody.
To the usual
Cheers, Anne.
scribes.
Cheers, Dave. Much love to you, mate.
Thank
Always
you.
stay in touch.
God
Sorry,
bless
I'm not
everybody.
quite too lively tonight.
He's
Sorry.
burnt out.
All right.
No need for apologies, Kev.
All right, everybody. Thanks very much. See you all soon, guys.
Yes, Kev. See you later, brother. Much love to you.
Bonjour, everybody. Thank you. Peace and love. Unity. Look after each other.
Yes, Andy. It used to be peace, love, and ecstasy back in the day, but now it's peace, love, and equity. We had the ecstasy. Well, some of us did. Speak for myself, and then we've expanded and grown and come back full circle. And the ecstasy will be the equity. When you get equity, that will be the proper ecstasy.
There you go.
Well, in my opinion, anyway, not some synthesized. I couldn't say that word. What?
Peace, love, and
MDMA
dark
is.
matter. How's that then? For if you haven't seen the dark matter, you shall never see the light. God bless everybody.
That's it. We'll end it there. Good night. God bless. Lots of love. Thank you and ciao. Yeah, let's go, Andy. I'll end it there. Bless you. It's been fun. It's time to go. Much love, scribes. Andy.
Bonjour all. Thank you.